Good afternoon. Welcome to Nelson Field here in Spanish Fork for today's game between Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork. Crosstown rivalry baseball coming up here for you minutes away on Spanish Fork 17. We'll get ready here for the national anthem. Ryan Pickens and Andrew LaRose with you. Andrew, a fun opportunity here for these two teams, crosstown rivalry baseball at its best.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a big game here for Spanish Fork. Ended up losing the first game of this particular series. Really kind of an uncharacteristic start to their season, going 2-9. And so this is an opportunity for them to get a big signature win, get themselves moving back up in that RPI, and be able to, get the season back on track.
It's definitely early still, but you start getting in a region, and you don't want to hit the panic button too early if you're Spanish Fork. On the other side of that, Andrew, Maple Mountain having the polar opposite year. Only one loss on the year, coming to 6A Pleasant Grove. And right now, the Golden Eagles look like they're just rolling.
Absolutely. Everything is clicking right now, Ryan. They have been fantastic this season. Chase Johnston picked up right where he left off last year, has been an absolute ace so far for them. And then Cy Crispin, the big slugging first baseman, has had an incredible year so far. 7 home runs on the season. Really has been just marvelous.
We'll get ready for the national anthem, and afterwards we'll have lineups and first pitch for you here on Spanish Fork 17.
Thank you.
So the Dons have taken the field here at Nelson Field, and we're going to be just a minute or two away. Andrew, you want to take a look at today's starting lineups?
Yeah, today's starting lineups today. Batting first here for the Golden Eagles is going to be A.J. Thomas, followed by Cole Erickson, Cy Crispin, Mick Winward, Nash Ferguson, Chase Johnston, Jeremiah Hall, Sawyer Leifson, and Hayden Hyatt. It's lined up there for Maple Mountain. For the Spanish Fork Dons, leading things off will be Nixon Warren. He'll be followed by Jason Pintar. Batting third will be Pratt Morley. Batting cleanup, Boston Duval. Batting fifth, Jackie Sorensen. Batting sixth, Rhythm Fagan. Batting seventh, Caden Lamson. Batting eighth, Trig Cloward. And batting ninth, Sammy Dart.
So on the mound, as Andrew said, it's going to be the sophomore Caden Lamson. So far on the year for Lamson, he comes in, this would be his fourth appearance, a 1.58 ERA for the right-hander, as he'll look to try to slow down this Maple Mountain offense in the early going. Dons in the all-white, Maple Mountain in the all-gray. It is a nice, sunny, almost overcast afternoon at the ballpark, and we're set and ready to go for some high school baseball.
And Lamson being relied on as the number 2 starter here for the Dons, and it was a rough outing for their number 1 pitcher, Matai Johnson. He got roughed up in Tuesday's game against the Golden Eagles. Had a couple of nice innings to start things off, but then the last kind of middle of the innings, the third and fourth innings, allowed a bunch of runs, ended up giving up a solo shot to Jeremiah Hall, ended up giving a big 2-run blast up to Cy Crispin in that game. Really kind of struggled a little bit, so they're hoping for a bounce back here in terms of their pitching today with Lamson, who, again, as Ryan was saying, impressive so far. Has a nice low ERA for them. Only has 17 strikeouts on the season. Hasn't walked anyone so far, which is pretty impressive, so it's got some good command up there.
A.J. Thomas in the box from the right side, and we are set and ready with the first pitch home. And that's in there, called strike just below the knees. Underway at about 3:35.
Fantastic first pitch there from Lamson just to get things started, get things established here against a very good hitter in A.J. Thomas.
The 0-1 on its way, bounced over to third, fielded cleanly by McLean. He'll throw across the diamond in time, and there's one away.
Yeah, 2 pitches, very efficient pitching there so far here for Lamson, able to get Thomas, again, a speedster. You definitely don't want him on the base paths if you can avoid it. And nice play over there at third base by McLean.
So multi-sport athlete Cole Erickson stands in from the right side for the Golden Eagles. Erickson, a 6'2 senior from the wind-up. First pitch on its way inside for ball 1.
Erickson having a solid season so far, according to Max Preps, batting .333. Has done a nice job here as kind of a bit of a table setter, often in this kind of number 2 spot here in the lineup for the Golden Eagles.
The 1-0 pitch missing low and away, ball 2, and for the first time today, Lamson behind in the count to a Golden Eagle.
Yeah, was able to just go right after A.J. Thomas, but kind of nipping around the edges here right now against Erickson.
The 2-0 on its way. This one settles in about thigh high for a strike, and the count moves 2 balls and a strike. Thomas, Erickson, and Chrisman, the first 3 up here for Maple Mountain. The 2-1 offering is in there on the corner, and the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Top of the first inning, no score. Second hitter of the game.
Yeah, great pitch there by Lamson. He's been mostly inside and low so far, and then goes kind of backdoor there on that last pitch.
2-2 curveball in there, strike 3, and the first strikeout of the afternoon for Caden Lamson goes against Cole Erickson, and there's 1 away. Sorry, 2 away.
2 away, yeah. Good sequence there by Lamson. He really fed fastball there throughout most of the at-bat, and then is able to just catch the outside part of the plate with that curveball. Excellent job there to freeze up Erickson and get that second out.
Cy Chrisman stands in. Homered on Tuesday against the Dons over at Maple Mountain. And the first pitch, Chrisman takes a called strike, and it's 0-1.
It looked a little bit low there, but a generous call there potentially from the umpire. But again, Chrisman is a very patient batter. He looks for his spot, looks for his pitches, and he didn't like that one in particular.
The 0-1 pitch coming home. That one blocked in the dirt for a ball, and it's 1-1. A good block there from Spanish Fork catcher Trig Clower. Just nobody on base.
Yeah, you can never underestimate just how important a good catcher can be to his pitcher. Obviously helping him call the game as well, but man, yeah, if you got a good glove back there, it just really helps you to keep the runners at bay.
That one swung on and fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Chrisman. Especially at this level, Andrew, a lot of high schools having a lot of foul territory behind home plate. So ball gets past you, you're giving them at least a base. Sometimes, depending on the speed of the runner, a second one. Yeah,
there's just so much room back there, and so if it gets lost, there's not much you can do about it.
The 1-2 pitch low, just below the ankles, and it count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chrisman. Chrisman with, believe, committed to play at Oklahoma State.
Not shocking. Again, to me, like I see him, and I definitely see a guy that can play at the next level. Again, he's just got absolute, just beautiful power, easy pop in his bat.
Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Lamson comes up with a pair of Ks in the first, and the Dons are coming up. We'll take a short break. We'll see what the Dons offense can do. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
Yeah, it gives us time to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson, State Farm, Mike and Tyler Mendenhall over at Edward Jones Financial Advisors, the attorneys at the Utah Legal Team, Spanish Fork Community Network, 2 Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports.
Listen for questions between innings.
Bottom of the first inning, and Spanish Fork will come up. As you can tell, Andrew, it's been a little while since I've done baseball here on Spanish Fork 17.
It's been a bit. We've had a full, several months away, and, also we only did our first broadcast on Tuesday, so normally we would have gotten our feet wet over in St. George, but we didn't do any tournaments down there this particular season. And it would have been a real fun to go to Maple Mountain if we were going for them. Oh, my goodness, they just ripped through the competition down there this year. Again, as you noted earlier, their only loss was to the Vikings, and, well, Pleasant Grove's a perennial just powerhouse, so losing to them is really, not crazy big deal, but have dealt with some really good competition so far and mowed through them so far.
Jeremiah Hall, the right-hander, on the mound for Maple Mountain. Hall, very impressive so far, a 6'2" freshman, and an opportunity here for Jeremiah Hall to get Maple Mountain into a position to sweep their crosstown rival. But we'll see Spanish Fork for the first time today. Andrew, they didn't score on Tuesday. What do they have to change today to kind of get that offense going?
It's about approach. Admittedly, you run into a buzzsaw when you're going up against Chase Johnston, and he was absolutely on one on Tuesday. Absolutely just dominant, controlled the strike zone well. Double-digit strikeouts, allowed just the one hit. So, you got to just tip your cap sometimes to a great pitcher. So for Spanish Fork, it's okay. Rolodex that. Don't matter. Move on to the next thing. Move on to the next game. Hall is definitely more hittable, and it gives them an opportunity to hopefully settle in and be able to just get some good swings. It felt like they really just struggled to track the ball against Johnston. They really struggled with this curveball. And so if they can just kind of calm things down a little bit and just kind of wait for opportunities to attack, wait for a good fastball, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be able to keep up with this Golden Eagles offense.
Warren, Pintar, and Morley, 1, 2, 3. And swinging right away is Nixon Warren. This one's caught in right field by Cole Erickson. We have one out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, Warren got a decent swing on that one. Goes inside out there and sprays it out into right field. Good catch out there in right. But I like that approach. He saw a pitch that he liked and committed to it. And that's something that they're going to need to have more of in this game, is when you get your pitch, just go after it. Go get it.
Jason Pintar, the shortstop, stands in, takes a first pitch, fastball at the knees, and he's down to the count 0-1. You would think you want to look for a fastball if you're Spanish Fork. Getting some early base runners might give you some confidence at the dish as Pintar swings through it there, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, clearly was a little bit behind on that one. I think he had off-speed back at the brain, and so didn't quite catch up to that particular fastball.
Hall ready to come home with the 0-2. Time called. And Pintar will step out of the box. Maple Mountain defensively, it's Ferguson, Leifson, and Erickson in the outfield. Chrisman and Hyatt on the left side of the infield. Right side, Benfield and Johnston as the 0-2 pitch is fouled back. And then A.J. Thomas catching with Jeremiah Hall, the right-hander, on the hill.
And this is a big developmental kind of game here for Jeremiah Hall. This is probably the next big name in Maple Mountain pitching is Hall, as he's kind of being relied on here to be the number 2 starter behind ace Chase Johnson. And strikeouts like that are definitely going to help his cause.
Second out of the inning, Pintar swings and misses, and that brings up second baseman Pratt Morley. And that's a pitch, Andrew, that's not really out of the zone necessarily. Pintar just swung through it there, and that's going to happen as a hitter.
Yeah, and it's partially for that one. That one's just a good sequence there. That one is high in the sky.
That one maybe a tougher play than meets the eye, but Benfield backs it up and makes the catch, and the inning is over. We will now take a break. We'll come back. No score. We head to the top of the second inning. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
MVP Sports knows how you roll. You name the sport and we've got you covered. MVP Sports has all the gear you need to perform at your best. Come see our new location just off 900 North Main Street. You are the MVP at MVP Sports.
Hi, I'm Mike McKell.
I'm Shani Hunter, and we're attorneys at Utah Legal Team.
Utah Legal Team was voted one of the state's top personal injury law firms.
We deliver bigger payouts and faster results.
If you've been injured in a car accident, we can help. Call us for a free consultation.
Top of the second inning here at Nelson Field. Ryan Pickens alongside Andrew LaRose. No score. Both pitchers settling in nicely in the first inning. But really, Caden Lamson kind of setting the tone here early on. A pair of strikeouts. Still through one inning to keep that in mind. But really a nice job in that first inning with the top of the Maple Mountain lineup.
Yeah, they needed a good, clean inning here to start things off in this game. Again, a really kind of rough outing for Matai Johnson in the last game on Tuesday. Though admittedly, Johnson started out pretty well. He ended up with 2 scoreless innings to start things off. And so for Lamson, it's going to be how do you continue to have the success that you have had so far here in this first inning. Again, it was kind of that second time through the lineup that was really rough for Johnson. And so Lamson's got to kind of be looking at that here in this third and fourth inning of like, okay, what can I be doing to vary things up a little bit here to still be effective during that second time through the lineup.
Mick Winward takes strike one. It's 0-1. On the Maple Mountain DH. Nash Ferguson on deck, and then Chase Johnston, 4, 5, and 6 in the Maple Mountain order. The 0-1 pitch is rolled foul over by the Maple Mountain dugout, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Winward.
Winward has been awesome here so far in this cleanup spot, kind of behind Cy Crispin. He's batting .500 so far on the season. He's got 2 home runs, a couple doubles, 10 RBIs, and really just has done a nice job to kind of clean things up here and be able to provide an extra bat to protect Cy Crispin a little bit.
The breaking ball misses just low, and the count moves to 1-2. Ready to go on the hill. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Lamson. As he comes home and delivers. Strike 3 called. Right, kind of, I believe, on the inside corner. The 3rd strikeout for Caden Lamson.
Yeah, that's a fantastic pitch. Man, he's looking just great so far. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts here for him. Just has done a nice job commanding the zone. Really kind of struggled a little bit in that at-bat with Cole Erickson, but otherwise has really just been spot on. And again, you can see why he's now got 20 strikeouts on this season. Again, the stuff is there, and he does a nice job of controlling it, knowing exactly where he wants to go with each pitch.
Nash Ferguson takes the first pitch low for a ball, and it's 1-0 here on Ferguson. And it seems like Maple Mountain so far content to be patient. The 0-1 or the 1-0 pitch is going to be fouled away over towards the Spanish Fork dugout. The Dons, and they're going to say he reached, and I'm assuming that it's going to be catcher's interference. With that, I'm assuming on the backswing he made contact with the glove of the Spanish Fork catcher Cloward, and so we have our first base runner with Nash Erickson reaching first.
Yeah, a bit of a weird sequence for sure. I kind of was like, based off of the trajectory of where the ball went, I was like, well, maybe. But yeah, they go ahead and make the call, catcher's interference, and puts the first base runner here on the board for either team.
Chase Johnson will hit here with one down and a runner on. Lamson will work here from the stretch. Comes home, first pitch, missing for a ball, 1-0. Sometimes, Andrew, this can kind of mess with a pitcher when you go from more of the windup to now runners on base. And although it doesn't really change too much for Lamson from the windup to the stretch. And the pitch on its way. Runner takes off. The throw down is going to be in time, and they got the tag to catch Ferguson trying to steal.
That's a phenomenal throw from Cloward, and I mean also a great tag over there by Pintar. But I mean the pop-up time there and the absolute dart over there to second base was fantastic by Cloward. Good read as well. I mean, yeah, everything about that is textbook what you want to see out of your catcher in that situation.
Ready to go here. I believe the pitch was a strike, so it's no balls and a strike on Chase Johnston. The pitch misses high and away, evens the count up, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Johnston has had a phenomenal season on the mound, but has had his struggles at the plate, only batting .188 so far on the season. But again, he's such a valuable arm, and sometimes for pitchers, I love that. The ball is actually stuck in the backstop back there. That is, you don't see that every day.
I apologize, I was wrong. It was a 2-1 count, so that one's fouled back, and now the count goes 2-2. And if you're Caden Lamson, you have an opportunity to get out of this with really no damage done. The 2-2 pitch is going to be lined in, or popped up into shallow left center field. Coming in strong, it's going to fall in front of Nixon Warren. And we have our first base hit of the ball game, a bloop single from Chase Johnston.
Yeah, that's a nice, good, solid swing there from Johnston. Is able to take that outside pitch, goes the other way with it, and is able to kind of find that no man's land out there in shallow left field. So I was just kind of dogging on him a little bit about only batting 188, but yeah, it's a nice piece of hitting there.
Broadcaster's jinx there, Andrew. I don't know.
If it works for him, I'm sure he's not sad about it.
Jeremiah Hall stands in, looking to help his own cause here in the top of the second. No score. Johnston gets his lead over at first, and that one's rolled foul. A nice catch in the on-deck circle by Sawyer Leifson.
You got to have quick hands over there in the on-deck circle. You never know when when a ball could be heading your way.
The on-deck circles here are pretty close.
They are.
To home plate. I spent a lot of time working with college baseball, Andrew, and that's a really close on-deck circle. Runner acts like he's going. He's not. Chopper over to third. Fielded cleanly. The throw over to first. In time and a big out there. Caden Lamson doing his job so far through an inning and a half. No score between Spanish Fork and Maple Mountain.
Yeah, that's an excellent play over there. 30's had to show off his arm a few times already in this game, but that is, again, it's the longest throw on the diamond, and he made it look pretty easy over there.
We'll go ahead and thank our sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, Edwards Jones, Financial Advisors, Mike Mendenhall and Tyler Mendenhall, Utah's legal team, the Spanish Fork Community Network Internet team, Two Jacks Pizza, and MVP Sports. We thank them for making each and every broadcast possible. We want to remind you, you can watch this game on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17, where you can catch even replays of past games and other live shows and past content. Just look for youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Our next broadcast is coming up next Thursday, April 17th, a 3:30 game over at Maple Mountain High School. And boy, two teams, Andrew, that used to be in the top of their classifications, the Orem Tigers and Maple Mountain. Maple Mountain still in that position, but boy, that could be a good one next Thursday.
Oh yeah, I mean, Orem is, it's not been as good of a year as they've had in years past, but again, they are still a pretty dangerous baseball program, and you can never sleep really on anyone in region play because it's just, it just kind of gets a little weird in general. But yeah, Golden Eagles looking pretty awesome so far here to start the season. But yeah, that'll be a bit of a challenge there with that series against the Tigers.
Leading off, Boston Duval, 4, 5, and 6. Duval, Sorensen, and Fagan coming up.
Boston Duval.
So Duval stands in from the right side to face Jeremiah Hall. Hall, a pretty effortless first inning, and first pitch is sent foul down the right field line. No balls and a strike on Duval.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid first inning there for Hall, getting a strikeout of Pintar and just kind of lazy contact there from Warren and from Morley so far. So yeah, having a nice case at the mound.
The 0-1 pitch settles in on the outside corner, and the count's 0-2. Hall ready to go. Kicks, winds, and delivers the 0-2 pitch, and that one fouled off again down the right field line. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes here into the second inning. No score between Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork.
Duval, according to Max Preps, 281 hitters so far on the season, so he's done a nice job here in this cleanup spot for Spanish Fork.
The 0-2 pitch, a little chopper up the middle, a long run over for the shortstop, Hyatt, and it's going to be in time to get Duval for the first out of the second inning.
That is an incredible play. Just a little slow roller there that just gets over the head of Hall. Nice job by Hyatt to crash in on that, makes an excellent throw, and then I am a first baseman apologist, and so I also got to tip the cap off there to Johnston. Beautiful stretch to make that out possible.
I didn't think it wasn't hit extremely hard. It was such a long run for Hyatt. Andrew, I didn't know really if there was even going to be a play, but a heads-up play by Maple Mountain, and with one out, that brings up left fielder Jackie Sorensen, who takes strike one.
Yeah, Sorensen, one of the few yesterday who was able to make decent contact against Chase Johnston. Unfortunately for him, it was a loud out. It was an absolute just rocket out to center field that was caught. But it was good to see him be able to make some solid contact. It was one of the few guys that was able to square things up on Tuesday. So hopefully he's able to have that extend out today here for the Dons.
Count even up here, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeremiah Hall kicks and comes home. Breaking ball that gets in there, called strike 2.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal pitch after going inside with the fastball, going outside with the breaking pitch. That's textbook sequencing there from Hall. And I don't want to put too much on this young freshman, but I feel like a lot of Maple Mountain's success here this season is going to ride on him and how he's able to kind of come up and do things after Johnston.
Ground ball to Hyatt. The throw to first. Diving is Sorensen, but it's not in time, and there's 2 away.
Wow, you don't see that every day where you see a guy just absolutely busting and sliding head first into first base. And honestly, he was close. He was pretty stinking close there. I honestly thought he might have been safe.
So Rhythm Fagan will come to the plate.
The designated hitter, number 13, Rhythm Fagan.
So Fagan from the right side, he'll get ready to face Hall, and the pitch inside and tight, ball 1.
Well, that'll wake you up.
High fastball, have to turn out of the way. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Hall, and that one gets in there at the knees, and the count evens up at 1-1. Now you're kind of seeing those chin protectors at higher levels of baseball. And I don't know, from our vantage point here, you can't really see whether some of the Dons and Golden Eagles are using those. That one's fouled back, and it's 1-2. But I would think over the course of the years, if you're not using that kind of chin protection extender, I don't know what the technical term for it is, Andrew, that's going to start becoming almost mandatory.
Yeah, it's just a safety thing, and it takes a little bit to adjust to it if you've hit with just a traditional helmet, as that one is fouled away there. But once you get used to your line of vision and you know that it's there, it's something that just it's a bit of extra protection to make sure that you're not going to be, getting knocked super hard with your jaw. There's been plenty of broken jaws, and we just want to see less and less of those types of injuries. We want to see just less and less injuries in the game in total. And so anything that you can do to make things a little bit safer for your guys out there, I think that's something that you should implement.
As we see right now, we got a pretty good look. And it looks like the current hitter, at least at the plate, Rhythm Fagan, having that extension on. That's kind of what we were talking about. That's exactly what we were talking about as the 1-2 pitch misses away, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pace kind of slowing down a little bit here with a couple of foul balls. But Jeremiah Hall set and ready to go here with 2 outs. No score, bottom of the 2nd inning. The pitch, that one's going to be bounced back up through the middle and into center field. Rhythm Fagan, the first base runner for the Dons, and the first hit of the afternoon. And the Dons maybe have a little 2-out magic coming.
Yeah, finally get one that you hit up the middle and it finds its way out into the outfield. Again, both Duvall and Sorensen both have been able to make contact, and both had kind of a chance over there to have let things off, gotten things off going with the single for each of them. But unfortunately for them, thrown out. But nice job there by Fagan to square that thing up. Just goes right up the middle with it and gives them a chance here with 2 outs.
Caden Lamson a chance to help his own cause. Swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Playable on the infield. Who's going to take it? It will be Benfield who will take it, and that ends the inning. We've played 2 complete here from Nelson Field. No score, Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork. We'll take a short break when we come back. Top of the 3rd inning action. You're watching high school baseball in Spanish Fork 17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Lance Wilson for your personal price plan today.
Top of the 3rd inning in Spanish Fork. No score between Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens and Andrew LaRose with you this afternoon, Andrew, and we'll see. This is the first time today that we're going to see a team get the second time through and what adjustments each team makes. Both pitchers have settled in quite nicely so far.
Yeah, it's looking very similar to Tuesday's game. Again, Johnston and Johnson, which we claimed is going to be a new marketing firm, I think was what we decided. They both were awesome through 2 innings. And for Johnston on Maple Mountain side, he was able to just go into cruise control and again had just an absolutely phenomenal game, a one-hitter. But for Matai Johnson on the other side of things for the Dons, really struggled in that second time through the lineup and ended up allowing a bunch of runs in the 3rd and 4th inning. And so that's going to be a big thing here on the mound here for Lamson is, okay, what can he do here during this second time through the lineup to mix things up enough to keep these Golden Eagles off balance?
Before we get to the second time through, 2 hitters for Maple Mountain for their first plate appearance. Sawyer Leifson leads off, the center fielder. Hyatt on deck, and then back to A.J. Thomas. 8, 9, and 1 in the Golden Eagle lineup. And the first pitch from Lamson is low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Leifson.
And I don't know if you can get an award for being the best number 8 hitter in the league, but Sawyer Leifson in this 8 slot is batting .441. And that's why, right there.
A 1-hopper through the left side, and Leifson's aboard. Second hit of the ballgame for Maple Mountain.
Now batting,
and Hayden Hyatt will come to the plate.
Yeah, it's just a textbook, just absolutely rips it. Finds that inside pitch, gets his hands through it, gets it just past the glove there of Pintar out into the outfield. Man, yeah, what a luxury to have someone, batting .441 that you can rely on in your number 8 spot in your lineup.
That's when you know you have a deep lineup, when you're like, the guy that hits .441's hitting 8th. There's a bunt attempt, popped up, going to be a tough play, diving, and coming up with it is Cloward. A heck of a play right there as they've got the bunt popped up, and there's now 1 away.
Yeah, that is not what you want to do with a bunt there, as Hyatt definitely gets underneath that one. Wow, and what a play by Cloward. Absolutely lays out to make that play. Oof, we love to see that effort from a catcher.
A nice play there with 1 away now. It puts the runner at runner at first base and A.J. Thomas up. He's 0 for 1. A ground out to third in his first plate appearance back in the first. Lamson comes home. That one's going to be rolled foul, just right out in front of home plate. I think it may have gone maybe off the guards of the catcher just with the way it bounced. No balls and a strike on Thomas.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like there. It's just a little weak contact, definitely in foul territory. But, yeah, Thomas has been such a crucial part to just really the total configuration of the Golden Eagles over the past couple years, and now really settling in here in this leadoff spot.
The 0-1 pitch on its way. Strike call. Runner takes off. The throw is not in time to get Leifson. And so Maple Mountain, the first one this afternoon to get a runner in scoring position, with Leifson stealing second base.
Yeah, I've noticed that the Golden Eagles are pretty aggressive on the base pass. I mean, A.J. Thomas already with, I want to say, 14 stolen bases on the season, so one of the leaders in all of Utah. But Leifson, another guy with big wheels, and so it's fun to see them when they get on first base, kind of what the song and dance is over there, because that they're probably going. It's just a question of, okay, which pitch are they going on?
Leifson running at second, Thomas at the plate, currently down in the count 0-2. Time was called by Thomas. Now we have time called by Cloward, and he's going to go have a word with his pitcher, Lamson. A big moment early on in this ball game, Andrew, because first time it's in scoring position, no score game. You've turned it over to the top of the lineup now, and really a big moment here to try to keep this game locked at 0.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is when the wheels kind of came off for Johnson yesterday, and so this is a moment for the catcher to go to his pitcher and say, "Hey, just kind of calm things down here a little bit, and let's just make some noise here, throw some good strikes," and that's exactly what he did there.
Strike 3, swung on and missed, and that's out number 2. That is a fourth strikeout for Lamson. And Cole Erickson will stand in here with 2 outs. He was the first strikeout victim of Lamson back in the first. Had a nice at-bat. Unfortunately, with 2 strikes, I believe he just took a pitch on the outside corner that was a strike.
Yep, absolutely. That is exactly what happened.
The pitch to Erickson, this one low and inside for ball 1, 1-0.
But, I mean, it was an absolute battle. I mean, he did a good job of laying off of pitches early in the count to be able to kind of dig deep in that at-bat. But then, yeah, just kind of got froze on a breaking pitch on the outside part of the plate. So, certainly something to probably keep in mind here in this at-bat.
Lamson ready to go. Leifson gets a nice secondary lead, but Erickson is hit. So 2 outs, Maple Mountain will have 2 on, and Cy Chrisman will be stepping to the plate.
Yeah, that's not the guy who you want striding in here with 2 guys on. As that's a nice job there by, and I don't want to say a nice job by Erickson, but to just, getting himself on base, the not fun way, wearing it. And but, I mean, yeah, this is a big situation here for Lamson. They've got the premier hitter in this Golden Eagles lineup coming up with guys on. This is a moment where if he can get this guy out, it's a big thing for Spanish Fork.
One of the best hitters in the county and probably the state, taking ball 1 high there, and it's 1-0. And the challenging part that's different from Maple Mountain, Andrew, compared to most lineups you might say, hey, we'll just pitch around him, make the next guy beat us. But you can't really do that against Maple Mountain with how good their lineup is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Windward on deck has been phenomenal in that cleanup spot behind Crispin since they've been able to get him in. He hasn't played the entire season, but since he's been able to play, he's maybe been like the second or third best hitter in the lineup. And so you can't just say, oh, yeah, give Crispin a bag here and then leave the bases loaded for a guy that's popped a couple out. You don't want to be down 4-0 when you could have just gone after Crispin.
Breaking ball misses low and in, and it's 2-0. Lamson from the stretch checks Leifson at second. The pitch comes home, and this one's rolled foul. Leifson getting a very good secondary lead, almost like he's looking to see, is this something I should go on? But we'll have to wait and see what happens as this at-bat goes on. 2-1, you're in a fastball count. Probably not necessarily a position you're looking to try to swipe a bag.
No, not really. But I think you're trying to see what you can get away with and see just how much of a lead you can get and make it easy for Crispin to at least drive in 1 with a hit.
Curveball gets in there, strike 2, and it's 2-2. And that's a great point, Andrew, because maybe you don't do it in this at-bat, but maybe there's another situation when you're on the base paths and you could look to try to take the next base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Because, yeah, in this situation, I mean, with 2 outs, the being out second as opposed to third, it matters a little bit, but it doesn't matter a ton. But, hey, with 0 or 1 outs, though, you're creating a sacrifice fly situation.
Here's the 2-2 pitch to Crispin, fouled back. And we'll live to see another pitch. It's 2-2.
Yeah, he just barely got enough of a piece of that one. As he'll be able to stay alive here. Another view there of Leifson again. He's getting just a nice, good, solid lead over there. So if Crispin's able to at least get decent contact out to the outfield, I mean, he's definitely scoring.
Runners get their leads at first and second. Lamson checks Leifson, the pitch. Breaking ball low. It looks like a little maybe low and away. And the count runs full 3-2. Runners will be on the move. And now you have to really come over most likely in the strike zone to Crispin.
Yeah, you gotta at least throw him something that's at least relatively close in the zone that he'll at least swing at. But again, he's so disciplined that he's not going to really chase stuff very often.
3-2 pitch to Crispin is going to be rolled over to first. Sammy Dart with an underhand toss to Lamson covering, and the Dons get out of it. Maple Mountain threatens for the first time this afternoon. They get 2 runners on, but Lamson stays strong. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork.
Yeah, that's a big moment there for Caden Lamson. Again, that is... Again, arguably probably the best hitter in all of Utah County, as you were saying, Ryan, and he was able to get him just a little squib hit there down that first baseline, able to get out of a jam there. So that's a big moment for Lamson to be able to put up another 0 on the scoreboard.
Just have to think eventually you're going to see Spanish Fork break through. and do something and get a run across or get a base runner and push them through. So an opportunity here for the Dons to do that in the bottom of the third inning.
It's an opportunity for us as well, to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's MVP Sports, Spanish Fork Community Network, Lance Wilson State Farm, the attorneys at the Utah Legal Team, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mike Mendenhall and Tyler Mendenhall over at Edward Jones Financial Advisors, and 2 Jack's Pizza.
So we'll get ready, of course, this game being on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. Our next broadcast comes to you next Thursday, the 17th, over at Maple Mountain High School, the Orem Tigers and the Golden Eagles. That one will be at 3:30 p.m. So we got a full slate of high school baseball for you here on Spanish Fork 17, the kind of the end of our high school sports season. Back outdoors. And today it is a nice day to be outside, 75 degrees and sunny, as Trig Cloward will lead it off. He made the nice diving play in the bottom of the inning, and now he swings and chops this one over to third. Chrisman with it throws across the diamond, and we got 1 out.
Nice, easy play there for Chrisman again, having to play the hot corner with Johnston not on the mound and over at first base. So nice to see him be able to make a solid play over there at the hot corner. That's something that will definitely be something that, at the next level they would like to see him maybe have a little bit more versatility other than just playing over at first.
Sammy Dart, the first baseman, will stand in. So 1 pitch, 1 out if you're Jeremiah Hall to start the third. And there, that one hits the inside corner for a called strike.
Oh,
and it's 0-1.
That was beautiful. I mean, it's hard to get that inside part of the plate as a righty when you got a lefty that's crowding the plate like Dart is, and so to hum that in there and then to hum in another one basically right in the same spot, he's just going right at him.
Dart fouls that one back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Spanish Fork wearing the all-white, Maple Mountain in the all-gray for just joining us. No score in the bottom of the third inning. Right now, a pitcher's duel so far, and both pitchers coming up with clutch outs when they've needed them. Here's the pitch to Dart. That one stays away, and the count evens up here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Or sorry, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I was like, I think it was only 1, but
I'm just making sure, Andrew, that you're set and solid. That one's fouled back.
Well, I certainly feel good about it now. So yeah,
stays 1 and 2.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight a little bit with the Tigers coming up here next week for the Golden Eagles. I mean, they start off pretty well in non-region play, but have kind of been sputtering here a little bit on a 2-game losing streak heading into the series here against the Golden Eagles. Lost their first region game on Tuesday, and so again, they are 8-4 on the season, so they're certainly capable of being a formidable opponent for Maple Mountain.
The 2-2 pitch in there, strike 3, and Sammy Dart down on strikes. Strikeout number 2 for Jeremiah Hall.
Yeah, that's a fantastic pitch. They're able to get that breaking pitch after really pumping in some fastballs there on Dart. Goes off speed there to freeze him up, and again, not the biggest strikeout pitcher, but does a nice job there to just kind of work the zone and find a pitch that he could freeze him up on.
Back to the top of the lineup, it's Nixon Warren, who's 0 for 1, flew out to right in his first plate appearance. We mentioned Maple Mountain will play Orem. The Dons, they're going to be at Wasatch on April 11th and back here at home on the 15th. So an opportunity to get Wasatch. Then they're going to get Salem Hills.
Again, Wasatch is another team that's had really excellent slate of non-region play. They're currently 8-4 and got their first win in region play as well on Tuesday. So the Wasps are going to be a hard out for the Dons.
The 0-2 pitch, it looked like to be a slider that just goes far and away for ball 1, 1-2. Still early in region play, just underway. Lots of time to go, but you have to think a good start always helps yourself kind of stay in the race and just kind of stay mentally in it. With the RPI system now in the state of Utah, you have an opportunity, regardless of really how you do in region, Andrew, to make the playoffs, as that one's fouled back. And we'll again have a 1-2 pitch coming to Nixon Warren.
And boy, aren't the Dons a perfect example of that. I mean, they're sitting right now at 19 in RPI, and you would look at their record and be like, wait, how are they at 19 in RPI? And it's because they've faced arguably the hardest slate of anyone so far in all of 5A.
Nixon Warren retired on the ground out. We'll get into their schedule a little bit here coming up in the fourth. No score. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
Dad, we got this.
We got this.
Let me check out Saturday.
We got this. We got this.
Life is for living.
We got this.
Let's partner for all of it. Edward Jones.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Top of the fourth inning here in Nelson Field. You see the snow-capped mountains in the background here. Still some snow sitting on the top of those mountains as we got Maple Mountain Spanish Fork. Game number 2, the only other time they're scheduled to see each other in the regular seasons today. So the next matchup for them would have to come in the postseason. We were talking before we went to break, Andrew, a little bit about this Spanish Fork schedule, and you brought up a great point. When you start looking through who the Dons have played, Woods Cross, Lehigh, Snow Canyon, Syracuse, Riverton, looking at Desert Hills. I mean, these are some good programs. Even a couple of those maybe being a classification down, like Desert Hills and Snow Canyon, those are programs, Andrew, that consistently play at the top of their classification.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever you go down to St. George, you basically know you're going to be facing a crazy good opponent. But, I mean, Desert Hills, Snow Canyon, those guys are always amazing. Cedar, pretty solid. Usually Juab has got a great team. And, I mean, it just has been an absolutely crazy slate here to start off for the Dons. Was looking at the RPI portion of it, and I mean, their opponent win percentage right now is essentially 700. It's 693, according to UHSAA. So I mean, they are facing the best of the best so far this season.
Mick Winward deleted off, takes I think he took a strike. They have 2-0 on the scoreboard, so I guess we'll go 2-0. But I'm pretty sure it's 1-1 as Lamson kicks and comes home. And it's not going to matter now as there's a base hit up the middle for the cleanup man, Mick Winward. And Maple Mountain has their first base runner here in the fourth.
Yeah, that seems to be the recipe for success for everybody so far today, is just go straight up the middle. I think that's probably the third base hit, and we've only had a handful, but they've all been right up the middle. That one was actually dangerously close to hitting Lamson.
I thought it was going to hit the second base back. But
it was also close to that.
They just kind of hopped over. Here's Nash Ferguson, reached on a catcher's interference back in the second. Swings at the first pitch there, pops it up. Giving it a look is Spanish Fork's infield, but it's going to go foul. No balls and a strike on Ferguson. Chase Johnston in the on-deck circle. 4, 5, and 6 scheduled to hit here for Maple Mountain. Top of the fourth inning, no score. Ryan Pickens, Andrew LaRose with you on this Thursday afternoon for some Region 7 baseball. No balls and a strike on Ferguson. Pitch is swung on, popped up. Sammy Dart giving it a look, coming over, running it down into the fence is the pitcher Lamson, putting it all on the line for his team there, and he records the out.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Not who I would have expected to make that play, and Dart was right there, but Lamson calls him off after covering just a crazy amount of ground to make that catch. So, yeah, definitely wanted that out, and he got it for him.
A 1-for-1 Chase Johnston stands in, singled back in the second. Some might argue that that's the play you don't want your pitcher making. But a little different at the high school level where you play multiple positions. That one swung on and missed out of the catcher's glove. And Mick Winward quickly going down to second. So a runner on second here with one away. And now Johnston, an opportunity with a base hit to score the game's first run and give Maple Mountain a lead.
Good heads-up play there by Windward, recognizing that he could easily advance there as it ends up getting past Cloward.
I think Cloward at first, I wondered if it was foul-tipped, but...
I mean, I kind of thought so, too.
But when I didn't see the umpire stop play, I'm like, well, I guess it just popped out of the glove. The count evened up now 1-1 on Johnston.
But yeah, Johnston able to flare one out to the opposite field in his first at bat. So if he could replicate that, most likely would get Maple Mountain on the scoreboard.
The 1-1 pitch comes home. Johnston fouls this one back to the screen. And it will be 1-2 the count on Chase Johnston. Jeremiah Hall, the pitcher for Maple Mountain, on deck. It's one of the differences with high school baseball that you see compared to the college level. In high school, you can have the pitcher hit, and you can essentially just have an infielder or an outfielder not hit. So there's a little bit of changes from the high school level compared to college and professional ranks. The 1-2 pitch inside for a ball, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of your high school pitchers are also going to be some of your better hitters, and in many ways they just kind of are your better all-round players, and so it's nice for them to be able to still showcase their hitting even though they are pitching as well, but it just gives more opportunity for these guys to better showcase themselves.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch on its way, misses outside, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Chase Johnston.
Because, I mean, I would be lying if I said that Johnston isn't clearly being looked at as a pitcher at the next level. I mean, he is absolutely sensational, but it's also nice for them to know that he can at least pick the bat up and be able to also play a position other than pitch.
3-2 pitch outside, ball 4. Johnston draws a walk, and really for the first time this afternoon, we are seeing Caden Lamson in trouble. And Jeremiah Hall stepping to the plate.
Yeah, was able to wiggle out of kind of a mini jam there in that third inning, allowed a base knock to Leifson, who eventually made his way over to first, and then Erickson getting hit by a pitch, but he got Crispin to ground out. But yeah, another situation here where it's runners on first and second, still only 1 out here. So yeah, this is kind of another dangerous moment here for Lamson.
This is where you want the double play.
Yes.
We'll see what Lamson delivers here. First pitch, breaking ball, low and outside to Jeremiah Hall. 1 ball and no strikes. Hall grounded out to third in his first plate appearance.
That's certainly the right idea there, is to find something low and outside that's a batter would kind of roll over and make for an easy ground out opportunity.
1 ball, no strikes, the count, and the pitch. Inside, right there on the corner at the knees, and the count evens up here. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Great pitch, great location. Again, went low and outside on that first pitch, trying to get him to chase something, wave at it to cause an easy ground out, and then just goes right after him there, low and inside.
Not much you can do with that pitch as a hitter, and you don't want to swing at it unless there's 2 strikes and you have to. Breaking ball there, missing low and outside, and it's 2 balls and a strike on Jeremiah Hall. 1 out, top of the 4th inning, Maple Mountain threatening.
Hall blasted a solo shot in Tuesday's game, and so certainly has shown the capability of being able to hit one over the fence. As batting .242 on the season, has a double as well. Again, they're mostly using him as a pitcher, but again, showed that he's certainly got the pop to do some damage.
Hall pops this one up down the right field line, giving it a look is Duvall. He's going to come down with the catch. Both runners are going to tag and move up 90 feet. The throw gets passed to the shortstop. The throw home is not in time. Now trying to dig and go to third, and Johnson is cut down. A shortstop, a catcher to third base. However, the game's first run does come in to score on the play, as it was Mick Winward who hustled home after the overthrow, and it's 1-0 Maple Mountain as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. A wild sequence there, Andrew, to end the inning, but the game's first run across the board. If you're Maple Mountain right now, you'll take any run the way you can get it.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy, but good for them to be heads up and be able to get themselves on the scoreboard. And that'll be the end of the inning, so we'll get you back with the 5th inning when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
Thank our sponsors for making the broadcast possible. We got MVP Sports, Two Jacks Pizza, the Spanish Fork Community Network Internet Team, Utah's Legal Team, Edwards Jones Financial Advisors, Mike Mendenhall and Tyler Mendenhall, Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. I want to thank those watching on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. And our next broadcast will come up next week. We'll be over at Maple Mountain High School for the Orem Tigers and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. Thank you to everybody joining us this afternoon. It's a 1-0 lead for Maple Mountain as we go to the home half of the 4th inning. It's going to be 2, 3, and 4. Pintar, Morley, and Duval coming up for the Dons, looking to try to see if they can get something back after giving up the game's first run.
Yeah, what a crazy thing to happen there is that just the slightest enough of overthrows over there at third base, and it springs Windward to say, hey, I'm going to go for it, and absolutely dives in there for that first run. Johnson then got caught being greedy and got thrown out over there at third base to end the inning. But yeah, it's a little bit of small ball, I guess you could say, but just doing what they can to generate a run and get themselves finally on the scoreboard.
Jason Pintar struck out in Jason Pintar struck out in his first plate appearance. Fouls the first pitch off that he sees, and it was a throw from foul territory in right field that came in, and that one's in there for a strike, and the count moves to 0-2. And the throw, I was expecting when I saw the runner break, Andrew, I thought the throw was way offline than it was. I was kind of surprised at the throw was actually pretty good, just went over the head of whoever was covering second base. As there's strike 3 on the outside corner, and Jeremiah Hall has his third strikeout of the ballgame.
Yeah, Hall's looking a little bit more comfortable out there right now. He's pumping in the strikes and has really found, in particular, that outside part of the plate to these right-handed hitters, and has done a good job of mixing it up with the fastball and the breaking ball over in that location.
So the pitch on its way in there to Pratt Morley. 0-for-1 game for Morley. A pop out to second to end the first inning. And the 0-1 pitch outside for a ball. Count evens up here at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, the Dons need to figure out a way to respond here on offense after Maple Mountain getting themselves on the scoreboard. They need to find a way to get at least a guy or two on the base, be able to just make Hall uncomfortable here and get him out of his rhythm, because right now this has not been a particularly great at-bat for him with the count now 2-1, but he really has looked in command here over the last several batters.
The 2-1 pitch inside for ball 3, and the count moves to 3-1. And Andrew, it almost seems like he's getting more difficult to hit the later we get into the ball game, and that's a great characteristic of a pitcher. But we'll have to see what Spanish Fork does here. 3-1 count, and there's a ground ball hit to short. Hyatt with it, going to be a long throw, a high throw, and the throw pulled him, and Spanish Fork's Pratt Morley is aboard. And with 1 out in the 4th, this is kind of what you were talking about, Andrew. Find a way to get a runner on and see what you can do.
Yeah, you just need to find and give yourself chances here, and something that they weren't able to do in Tuesday's game. And so being able to just get your guys on base and get themselves an opportunity to score, that's big. And Morley, a guy that can absolutely blaze, and so I wouldn't be shocked if they give him the green light here with an opportunity to try to get him into scoring position.
Boston Duval at the plate, grounded out to short in his first plate appearance, squares around a bunt and takes ball 1.
Yeah, not shocked at all that Duval is showing bunt here again. They are in the run generating business here, and if they can get a guy over into scoring position, that's going to be a big deal for them.
Only the second base runner of the contest. There's a line drive right to Crispin, throws across the diamond in time for the inning-ending double play. Bad luck for the Dons, a heads-up play by Maple Mountain, and we head to the 5th. 1-0 Golden Eagles. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
MVP Sports knows how you roll. You name the sport and we've got you covered. MVP Sports has all the gear you need to perform at your best. Come see our new location just off 900 North Main Street. You are the MVP at MVP Sports.
Hi, I'm Mike McKell.
I'm Shani Hunter, and we're attorneys at Utah Legal Team.
Utah Legal Team was voted one of the state's top personal injury law firms.
We deliver bigger payouts and faster results.
If you've been injured in a car accident, we can help. Call us for a free consultation.
Top of the 5th inning here at Nelson Field. Ryan Pickens and Andrew LaRose with you. And just a tough break for Spanish Fork to end that 4th inning. Soft line drive right at Chrisman. Just as Spanish Fork, Andrew, got their second base runner of the ballgame.
Yeah, that is just bad luck there for Boston Duval. I mean, absolutely smoked it, but right at Chrisman, who was then able to quickly react and get it on over to first base. And I mean, over there as the runner at first, I mean, for Morley, I mean, what do you do? I mean, there's just not much that he was going to be able to do to not get doubled up on that play, because, I mean, he needed to be able to give himself enough of a lead to get himself over to second base on contact. And so, unfortunately for him, the contact went right into Chrisman's glove.
And it's not like he had an overly aggressive lead or anything. It just, unfortunately, he was just kind of caught in no man's land. Here is Sawyer Leifson to lead it off. Leifson, Hyatt, and Thomas, 8, 9, and 1. Due up for Maple Mountain. Leifson singled in his first plate appearance, a breaking ball that just looked like it never broke, and it's ball one as Leifson ducks away from the pitch.
Yeah, danger zone there, as it looks like that pitch definitely got away from Lamson, and thankfully for Leifson, able to duck out of the way and not wear that one somewhere on probably his helmet.
The 1-0 pitch. This time it's over the plate but low for a ball, and it's 2-0.
Oh boy, I feel like that's a call that has been getting called here in this game, but must have just barely missed.
I've always wondered when pitches come up towards somebody's head. As the 2-0 pitch comes in, there's a ground ball hit to short, fielded by Pintar, who bobbles it, and he's not going to have a play. So he collected it. Andrew kind of lost it, I think, on the exchange to his throwing hand, and then just wasn't able to recollect it, and Maple Mountain's got the leadoff man on.
Yeah, that's rough, because it was great until it wasn't. Excellent read on it, got it, and then just on that transfer, just not quite able to cleanly get it out of his glove. Thankfully, he's able to get back on it and keep it from getting too crazy, but yeah. Unfortunate break there for the Dons. Nice one for the Golden Eagles as they get the leadoff runner.
Hayden Hyatt caught some bad luck in his first plate appearance, popped a bunt up, and it was a great play. Trig Clower just made the diving catch. And, I mean, it was a sensational play by Cloward. But just bad luck if you're Maple Mountain. That's happened both ways today so far. The 0-1 pitch, they'll kind of softly throw over. Back standing is Leifson. But, Andrew, I was saying, I'm surprised when pitches come up towards somebody's head that they don't drop the bat faster. So that way it doesn't run the risk of hitting the bat for a foul ball.
Yeah, I think it's just the adrenaline's pumping enough that you're just kind of like, I just got to get out of the way. And so you're not always thinking about what's happening with your bat. You're just thinking about, am I about to get hit in the noggin?
Well, I mean, that was exactly my point that I was thinking about was if a ball is coming at my head, that's probably not what I'm thinking about is where the bat's at. The 0-1 pitch in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2.
I mean, if you could think about it, then it'd be like, okay, like, oh, bring that into me and make sure that, it doesn't end up making contact. But, yeah, just in the heat of the moment, you're just like, I need to do anything that I can to get my body out of harm's way.
Ideally, Andrew, we just have no pitches up towards the head, and we're good.
That is the ideal, as far away from my brain as possible. That is where I would prefer it to be. I'd prefer it to be in the zone where I could crush it, but it's and there is a reason why they have the helmets. We'll just say that.
1 ball and 2 strikes, the count here on Hyatt. Slightly open stance. Runner gets his lead. Pitch on its way, fastball above the belt, and the count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hayden Hyatt. A.J. Thomas in the on-deck circle for Maple Mountain. A great outing from Caden Lamson today for Spanish Fork.
Yes. Again, he did a good job here through this second time through the lineups. That's going to be blooped out into center field.
Coming in and under it is Nixon Warren for the first out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, able to go through the Maple Mountain lineup again here a second time and only allowing the 1 run is a big win here for the Dons. Lamson has given them a solid start here, has basically matched Jeremiah Hall in terms of their effectiveness, and has really kept the Dons very, very squarely in this game. Again, if they could just get the bats going and find a way to scratch across a run or two, yeah, this game really could swing in their favor. So it's done a nice job of limiting a very, very potent Golden Eagle offense.
A.J. Thomas gets into that one, deep to left field, backpedaling, and it's going to be off the wall. Coming around third, getting the go sign is Leifson. The relay throw from third is offline. Thomas, who had made it to second, will now go to third. It's 2-0 Maple Mountain.
Man, and just like that was saying how well he had done through that second part through the lineup, and now right at the beginning here, third at bat here for A.J. Thomas, and he absolutely crushes one out to left field off the fence and brings in the second run of the ballgame.
And Cole Erickson will step in as Maple Mountain starts to think not just about 1 run or 2, but they start to think about maybe opening this one up a little bit here in the 5th.
Goes down as a unearned run with it coming off of the error by Pintar, but still that one stings as it essentially doubles up the lead here 2-0. And so Lamson's just got to settle things in here and hope that he can be able to get through Erickson and get through Crispin and get out of this inning.
There is some action going in the bullpen for the Dons as the first pitch to Erickson, a breaking ball that stays high for ball 1-0.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if he can't get through Erickson, you almost want to have a nice long mound visit and try and see if you can get your relief pitcher warmed up enough to maybe face Crispin, or at the very least certainly get him ready to face Windward.
The 1-0 pitch gets in there, called strike to Erickson. Erickson struck out and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Crispin swinging the bat in the on-deck circle for Maple Mountain. The 1-1 pitch, low for ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. The Spanish Fork infield is in, so they're going to try to cut down the run at the plate. And a great move if you're Spanish Fork on a day where you've had a hard time getting base runners and haven't scored. I don't know how many more runs you could really afford if you're Spanish Fork.
Yeah, it is the right approach. Unfortunately for them, they're dealing with A.J. Thomas over there at third base, and he's definitely got some speed, and so it's going to be a tall task even with them coming in to be able to cut him down. But it is definitely the right play. If they can find a way to get him gunned down over there and not have another run across, that's going to be a big deal here for the Dons.
You hope it's hit relatively hard, but right at somebody.
Yeah,
but not too hard that you can't field the baseball. Pitch comes in, and that one breaks off the plate, ball 3, and the count goes full 3-2 here to Erickson.
Erickson's done an excellent job here. He's really been patient. You know, again, he worked the count pretty well in his first at-bat, even though he struck out. Didn't have a chance in that second at-bat because he got hit by a pitch, but working this to full in this situation is a big deal.
Pitch comes inside and hits Erickson. It would have been ball 4 regardless, but now Spanish Fork's going to have to move probably the middle infield back, and Crispin stepping to the plate.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you wanted to see for Spanish Fork. I mean, you wanted to be able to see if you could get Erickson to ground a ball, give yourself an opportunity to throw Thomas out at first, or at the very least pump fake him and getting out over at first base. But instead, now you got runners on the corners and the big dangerous bat of Crispin up. And you'll note that they are taking kind of their sweet time a little bit here. And that's probably a good thing for the bullpen to get those arms warmed up a little bit more. But yeah, this is about as big of a moment in this game as there has been, and they're actually just going to put Crispin on first base.
So they'll load the bases here with 1 out in the inning. Mick Windward will come to the plate. Windward singled back in the 4th inning.
Number 8.
Yeah, this is a dangerous proposition here. I understand it because it creates force outs on every bag, and I mean it also gives you an opportunity to turn 2
with a potentially slightly slower runner. But, oh, man, I mean, Windward has been impressive this season, and, I mean, he did just get a knock in his last at-bat. So it's a gamble for sure here for Spanish Fork.
It's challenging because now Maple Mountain definitely looking for a big inning, and that pitch misses low for ball 1 to Mick Windward.
Yeah, pitch didn't miss by much, just a little bit low in the zone. And, yeah, you got to think Windward is looking for something that he can drive. If he can get something out in the outfield, it will at least score Thomas on a sacrifice fly. And if he can really get a hold of one, extra bases, ooh, yeah, this game really blows open at that point.
Pitch on its way. There's a line drive right under the glove of Sammy Dart. 1 run will score. Runners are now being held as the throw comes through, and it's 3-0 Golden Eagles on an RBI single from Mick Windward.
Yeah, it was nice hitting there by Windward. Got something on the outside part of the plate, just gets through it, slaps it opposite field. I thought Dart had a pretty good beat on it, but it looks like it just barely misses his glove and squirts out into the outfield.
Nash Ferguson will be the hitter. Bases still loaded, 1 out. Maple Mountain 3, Spanish Fork 0 in the top of the 5th inning. So bases loaded, the pitch. Ferguson pops this one up. Shallow left field. Shortstop makes the catch. Pintar quickly turns and throws home. No runners will tag, and a big second out here for the Dons.
Honestly, I thought Ferguson had a better beat on that ball. They had a good swing on it, but must have just not squared it up properly, as it ends up being a little short pop-up there out into shallow center field. Nice job by Pintar to track that thing down. That was not an easy play for him. He was able to catch that kind of over his shoulder, makes the play, and then does a nice job of getting it in quick to prevent that from being a potential, sacrifice.
Chase Johnson, a single and a walk in the ball game, takes first pitch low and inside, ball 1. Bases are loaded with Erickson running at third, Chrisman at second. Over at first is Windward. 3-0 lead for Maple Mountain. They're trying to add to it here in the 5th. Johnston sees the 1-0 pitch low for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. 8th man of the 8th hitter of the inning for Maple Mountain. Jeremiah Hall would be the 9th man to come to the plate. He's in the on-deck circle. 2 balls and no strikes from the stretch. Pitch on its way. That one skips the backstop. Coming in to score from third is Erickson. Both the other runners move up 90 feet, and it's 4-0 Maple Mountain.
Yeah, that's a big tough break there for the Dons. When they don't even have to do anything, and you give up a run and move the other runners 90 feet. That's an unfortunate thing for Spanish Fork. As again, had been just a really pretty solid game here for Caden Lamson, starting to kind of come unglued a little bit here in this 5th inning.
And Johnston now ahead in the count, 3-0. First base is open, but the Dons don't want to load the bases here again.
Yeah, I think they're content to go ahead and try to get after Johnston here, as he's going to foul that one away.
Swinging 3-0, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, really aggressive. I thought with how much Lamson's been missing here in the zone in this particular bat, I would have thought that Johnston would have been just take it, But I don't mind being a little bit aggressive. Again, you've got 2 runners in scoring position, so if you can find a pitch you like, go ahead and rip it.
Here's the pitch to Johnston. This one's chopped over to third, fielding it, and the throw over to first in time by McLean, and the inning is over. 4-0 lead, though. Maple Mountain puts 3 on in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Spanish Fork with some work to do.
Yeah, that's a tough inning there for for Lamson. Again, had been really doing pretty great here through those first 4 innings. Allowed the run in the 3rd and the run in the 4th, but I mean, otherwise, really had been just kind of doing what he needed to do to keep Spanish Fork in this game. But now the Golden Eagles have been able to pick away enough to be able to build a pretty decent lead here going into the bottom of the 5th. And while we've got some time here in between the top and a half of the inning, I want to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's Spanish Fork Community Network, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Two Jacks Pizza, Mike and Tyler Mendenhall over at Edward Jones Financial Advisors, the attorneys at the Utah Legal Team, and Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Again, thanks, guys, for tuning in today, whether you are tuning in live or on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. Be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button and join the Spanish Fork 17 family. Be able to get all of the great content that we have there on the YouTube page. Whether you love high school sports or you just love staying connected to your Spanish Fork community, be sure to click it and join us at youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Jackie Sorensen to lead it off. 5, 6, and 7. Sorensen, Fagan, and Lamson coming up against Jeremiah Hall, who now has some run support to work with. Sorensen grounded out in his only plate appearance of the ballgame back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, it does kind of let you breathe a little bit there on the mound. You don't want to get too complacent with it, of course, but it just kind of allows you to feel a little bit more loose, and hopefully for Hall that allows him to lengthen out this start a little bit and be able to show what he's made of. Again, this freshman is kind of debuting for, I don't want to say debuting, but auditioning kind of for that top spot for once Chase Johnston ends up graduating here this year.
Sorensen takes the first pitch away for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is going to be fouled off. It went off of, it looks like, the shin or the foot of Sorensen. He'll hop around for a minute before heading back into the batter's box.
Yeah, that did not look pleasant. Looks like it just went right off the top of his foot, kind of moving things around, making sure he's feeling good. Then he'll get himself back in the batter's box. Yeah, those ones never feel great.
Did that a few times. Does not feel good. Won't probably feel good even in a couple of hours or so.
No, it'll be a nice bruise probably for a couple days.
1 ball and 1 strike on Sorensen. Spanish Fork has been limited, only 2 base runners in the ball game, so they'd like to find a way to maybe double that here in the 5th. The pitch in there for a called strike from Jeremiah Hall, who really has just been in a groove. He's been just in rhythm, hasn't had to kind of come out of his wind-up too much this afternoon. And the 1-2 pitch awaiting to come home to Jackie Sorensen.
Yeah, I had to navigate a little bit of danger there in that last inning, but was able to get just a great play from Chrisman, as that's going to be Sorensen going down on strikes. Again, just a laser hit by Duval right at Chrisman to then turn a double play and send that ball over to first base. So got out of a little mini jam there in that last inning, but man, his stuff has just really played here in these last couple of innings. That's now his 4th strikeout of the day too, and so just really is looking really nice here.
Rhythm Fagan will stand in. He has one of the Spanish Fork 2 hits in the ballgame. It was a single back up the middle in the 2nd inning. Heading the count here, 1 ball, no strikes. Jeremiah Hall winds and comes home with the 1-0. Swung on and missed. The count evens up here, 1-1.
Yeah, I might be mistaken because I don't have a radar gun, but I feel like the fastball has played a lot nicer here in these last couple of innings. I don't know if he actually is throwing it harder, but it kind of feels that way. It just feels like the velocity is up a little bit of a tick here.
1-1 pitch hits the corner for called strike 2, and it's 1-2 on Rhythm Fagan. And the 1-2 pitch swung out and missed. Strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Hall. He's gotten 3 of the last 6 outs on strikeouts.
Yeah, again, it's just really working for him right now, especially these outside pitches to these right-handed hitters has really been effective as they've been late on these swings and just have not been able to make any kind of clean contact.
So Caden Lamson will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1, and there he swings and misses, and it's 0-1 on Lamson. He popped out to second to end the second inning. We'll see if he comes back out to start the 6th inning as Lamson rolls this one over to the Maple Mountain dugout, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, perfect first 2 pitches here for Hall in this at bat. I've been saying that he's been just killing him on the outside, and then he hums one in right underneath his hands there for strike 1, got him basically swinging super short, and then went right back outside with that second pitch.
There's strike 3, and Jeremiah Hall strikes out the side in the 5th. He's got 6 Ks. Maple Mountain has a 4-0 lead. We're going to the 6th. After the break, you're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, folks.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Lance Wilson for your personal price plan today.
Congratulations, Broad.
Top of the 6th inning at Nelson Field in Spanish Fork. A 4-0 lead for Maple Mountain. Ryan Pickens and Andrew LaRose with you. Well, the day on the hill is over for Caden Lamson. He pitched better than that line score is going to probably show at the end of the game. He will stay in the game and move over to third base. And coming in to pitch will be number 34, freshman Tilden Scott. And really, Andrew, a lot to take away from this start if you're Caden Lamson.
Yes, I mean, again, I can't emphasize how well he started off this game. I think that he did a phenomenal job on the first and really the second time through the lineup against a very, very incredibly dangerous Golden Eagles lineup. And really, they didn't even do, even though it is 4-0, they really didn't do like a ton of damage. There really wasn't a lot of extra base hits, particularly in this ball game. I mean, you did have the double by A.J. Thomas, but really other than that, there hasn't been like amazing, there wasn't like clearly amazing contact against him. And so I would definitely chalk this one up as a successful start here for Caden Lamson. And again, a little bit of shaky defense as well behind him. So a lot of positives. Again, you're coming away with a game here against just one of the best offenses in all of Utah, and to only come away with 3 earned runs is a pretty solid thing. So yeah, tip of the cap to Lamson. He had a nice ball game. Kind of got a little bit roughed up there in the last 2 innings of it, but was able to work through it. And so they're only going to have to probably need 2 innings out of their bullpen.
Depending on scoring, obviously, I think Lamson could get out of here with as little as one earned run.
Yes.
With the errors that happened. So Jeremiah Hall, who's been sharp on the mound, will stand in from the right side. 0 for 2 in the ball game, and the first pitch misses low for a ball, and it's 1-0 to Hall. Hall, Leifson, and Hyatt, 7, 8, and 9. Due up here against Scott in the 6th. Equivalent of the 8th if we're playing 9 as the pitch comes in for a ball, and it's 2-0 on Jeremiah Hall.
Not the best day at the plate for Hall today. He's 0 for 2 on the day. A ground out to third and a fly out to right field that caused some craziness.
Pitch on its way. That one settles in for a strike, and the count moves to 2-1 on Jeremiah Hall.
His fly out to right field is the one that caused Windward to score. That was just kind of a weird sequence, as that one is smoked, but high up in the air.
It's going to allow time for Nixon Warren to run it down, and there's one away here in the 6th. I thought that was hit a little more on the line at first than it was just straight up into the air, but first out of the inning, here is Sawyer Leifson. Leifson has reached base twice, had a single and an error, came around to score back in the 5th. That 3-run 5th inning really putting some distance between Maple Mountain and the Dons. The pitch there settles on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. Spanish Fork still looking for their first run of the week against Maple Mountain.
Yeah, again, they ran into Chase Johnston on Tuesday, and he was just absolutely on a heater. This one is going to be popped up.
Scott will give way. Cloward goes to catch it, and it just comes right out of his glove. So a foul ball, and Leifson will live to see another pitch.
Yeah, that's rough. After making just an absolutely sensational play earlier in the game, diving for one and snagging it, this one a little bit more on the routine side. But again, it's hard to catch pop-ups as a catcher. You're kind of working against the grain in terms of the rotation of the ball usually, and so it's pretty easy for it to kind of get out of your grasp just because you're not quite tracking the fact that it's coming away from you.
The 0-2 pitch misses away for a ball, and it's 1-2 the count on Leifson. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th for the Dons as the 1-2 pitch comes in. Leifson lines this one to left. Playable, though, out there for Sorensen, who makes the catch for out number 2. It's going to be 8-9-1, Cloward, Dart, and Warren for the Dons.
Yeah, that's a good part of the lineup to hopefully kind of kickstart things. I mean, Cloward and Dart both are guys that can be able to, if they can get on base, give yourself an opportunity to then get some of your bigger boppers up there with, Warren, Pintar, and Morley coming up after them. If they can find a way to get on base, that's going to be your recipe for success to get Spanish Fork back in this game.
Hayden Hyatt takes an outside or pitch on the outside corner for strike one. It's 0-1. We mentioned the bunt play earlier when Cloward made the diving catch. Hayden Hyatt, unfortunately, he was the victim at the plate who popped the bunt up. And the 0-1 pitch misses away for a ball, 1-1. Also flew out to center field in his last plate appearance. Breaking ball bounced up through the middle into center field, and Hayden Hyatt has his first base hit of the ball game. Maple Mountain will turn it over to the top of the lineup with A.J. Thomas.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that has been the story of the game here for Maple Mountain, is just finding a way to hit them right up the middle. There's been a lot of those in this game, and that's a testament to your hitting coach. I mean, that's about staying back on it enough and just kind of slapping it up the middle. That means that you're really reading the ball well when you're hitting it up the middle, and so that's definitely a great sign here for this Golden Eagles lineup, that you're hitting a lot of stuff just right up that center field alley.
A.J. Thomas 1 for 3, a double and a run scored back in the 5th. Nearly hit the ball out. Breaking ball settles in for ball 1 low. Just missed. Hit it deep to left center field. Or not deep to left center, sorry, but deep to left field.
Yeah.
Sent Sorensen back to the warning track. Pitch on its way. Misses. Fastball. And the count moves 2-0 on Thomas.
Yeah, he's got some sneaky pop. You wouldn't think so looking at him, but he's got great hands, and hands can generate just as much power as you can with a big body. So if you've got quick wrists, that can definitely help you, and that certainly is the case with A.J. Thomas. He can get that bat through the zone pretty quick.
Thomas ready to go. Here's the pitch. On the corner, called strike, and the count evens up at 2-2.
Yeah, I've noticed that the outside part of the plate here to righties has been a very generous spot for the umpire, and that's why Hall's been going to that well a lot in this game, and so it's nice to see Spanish Fork realizing that too and popping it here on the outside part of the plate.
Thomas ready to go. Scott ready to go on the mound. The pitch. Breaking ball that gets in there, strike 2. Previously it was 2-1, my apologies. Now it's 2-2.
Yeah, another excellent pitch. Again, if you can mix up your fastball and your breaking ball and be able to hit that specific spot out there on the outside part of the plate, that's going to be really hard for any batter to be able to come up and make a decent swing on it.
Scott looks over at first, and the time called here by Thomas. We were talking, that's one thing we haven't seen Spanish Fork do a lot against Jeremiah Hall as the game has gone on. Sometimes if a pitcher's in a groove, the 2-2 pitch goes high for ball 3, and the count runs 3-2. sometimes if a pitcher's in a groove, Andrew, it's good to call time, maybe just kind of try to get him off his rhythm. And we'll see if maybe Spanish Fork will do that in the 6th, because Jeremiah Hall in the bottom of the 5th was get the ball, throw the ball, get the ball, throw the ball.
Yeah, and when you're in that kind of rhythm, it almost becomes muscle memory for you for throwing strikes. And so you just got to do something that's going to disrupt them, kind of get that muscle memory out of them and have to force them to do something. Wow, another just blast.
That one's a fly ball into left center field. Nixon Warren runs it down, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Spanish Fork with some work to do. Cloward, Dart, and Warren due up for the Dons. We'll take a moment to thank our sponsors here on Spanish Fork 17. Triple T Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. Lance Wilson, State Farm Insurance. Edwards Jones, Financial Advisors Mike Mendenhall and Tyler Mendenhall. The Spanish Fork Community Network Internet Team, Two Jacks Pizza, Utah's legal team, and MVP Sports. We thank them for making each and every broadcast possible here on Spanish Fork 17. We want to welcome those on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. Catch replays and live events of our SF17 sports and other shows in the community as well. Next broadcast comes your way Thursday, April 17th. That's in a week from today at 3:30. We'll be back over at Maple Mountain for the Golden Eagles and the Orem Tigers. Should be another fun one here on Spanish Fork 17. Ryan Pickens and Andrew LaRose with you. Andrew, our 4th or 5th broadcast together this year. Always a good time. Thank you for being here with me today.
Oh, of course, yeah. These are always fun. It's always fun to be able to be here, be able to call some of these really just fun and awesome Maple Mountain Spanish Fork games, whether it be baseball, whether it be we've done a couple football games this year as well. You know, it's just a fun time. I always love being out at the ballpark, out at the stadium, just kind of enjoying the atmosphere. And today, wow, the atmosphere is just beautiful. I mean, it is the perfect day for baseball. You got the view out there with the snow-capped mountains. It's low 70s here today. This is spring. This is what you think of when you think of spring in Utah, and today is just the quintessential day for that.
Bottom of the 8th inning, we'll see what the Dons can do here in the 6th. Trig Cloward grounded out to third, his only plate appearance, takes ball 1 low from Jeremiah Hall, who will start his 6th inning. 4 of his last 6 outs have been recorded via strikeout. Pitch on its way, and Cloward fouls this one away, and the count goes to 1-1.
Yeah, it really was just locked and loaded there in that 5th inning, able to mow down Sorensen, Fagan, and Lamson all down on strikes, striking out the side. And, really even looked pretty great in that 4th inning as well, getting Pintar down on strikes. And it really has just been, his mix of things of being able to work inside and outside. He's really gotten most of his punch-outs via the outside part of the plate, but has done a nice job of being able to come in and challenge them on the inside as well.
The 2-1 pitch, ground ball hit to short. Hyatt has it and throws him out, and there's one gone here in the 6th.
Yeah, nice easy play there for Hyatt over there. At short, reads it perfectly, sends on over to first. That's a just nice textbook there for the shortstop.
And Sammy Dart will come to the plate. 0 for 1 for Dart. Struck out in his only plate appearance back in the 3rd. Same part of the lineup that was up in the 3rd inning against Hall, here in the 6th, 8, 9, and 1. And the first pitch to Dart takes that one low, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, he'll just miss there low and a little bit inside, but that's the pitch again. It's that location that's really been working for Hall today. Low and inside here to the lefty Sammy Dart, though.
That pitch gets in there for a called strike, and the count evens up here at 1-1. Looking to try to maybe get something going here is Dart. We've mentioned earlier the Dons had a base runner in the 2nd in Rhythm Fagan, and then another one in the 4th from Pratt after a base hit from Pratt Morley. But other than that, it has been a tough day offensively for the Dons.
Yeah, it's a game that I would have thought the Dons would have had a little bit of an easier job, again, coming off of Tuesday's game against Chase Johnston, where they almost just looked outmatched, as that one's in there for a strike. It'll move the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But it really felt like a game that Spanish Fork was like, okay, let's get these bats going. But, man, Hall has just looked so impressive, especially in these last couple innings.
Breaking ball there, misses away, ball 3, and the count runs full here on Dart. And really, Spanish Fork looking to try to get a base runner any which way they can. Top of the lineup looming with Nixon Warren. So an opportunity to try to flip it to the top of your lineup, hopefully with a base runner. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Hall, and Dart grounds this one to short. Hyatt's got it, throws to first, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, 2 just nice, easy routine plays over there at short for Hyatt, and nice job here for, again, Jeremiah Hall has looked really awesome here in these last couple of innings. Not necessarily overpowering the hitters here in this particular inning. Again, struck out the side in the last inning. Now just two grounders over to short. But again, he's doing what he needs to just get the outs here. And so, you know, to see this from your freshman starter has got to be just so refreshing for Coach Thomas.
Nixon Warren 0 for 2. Fly out and a ground out. Pops the first pitch up. On the infield, Chase Johnston at first is calling it. He'll make the catch, and the Dons go down 1-2-3 in the 6th. We'll head to the 7th here on Spanish Fork 17, Maple Mountain 4, Spanish Fork 0. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
Dad, we got this.
We got this.
Let me check out the town.
We got this. We got this.
Life is for living.
We got this.
Let's partner for all of it. Edward Jones.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Top of the 7th inning here at Nelson Field. Maple Mountain and Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens alongside Andrew LaRose. And Maple Mountain has really cruised behind Jeremiah Hall through 6 innings. And he's had just an outstanding day.
Yeah, it's been really awesome for him. Again, he kind of started, I don't want to say slow because that's not quite the right way to say it, but it just feels like around the third or fourth inning in particular, kind of the end of that 3rd inning, it just kind of felt like he kind of got into a groove. That's when you really started to see the strikeouts starting to rack up, and it just almost felt like he got really strong in those kind of latter, and he's kind of cooled off a little bit here in this past inning, but just did a nice job of getting the outs where they were needed, and so he certainly got a chance of potentially coming through with a complete game shutout here, which is, I mean, if you can get that from your second starter, your freshman starter, oh man, the Golden Eagles are set up for a really nice season.
Cole Erickson takes the first pitch away for ball 1. Erickson's been hit by a pitch twice and struck out. Stands in from the right side, came around and scored a run back in the 5th.
You know, not a comfortable way to get on base, but he has certainly been effective.
The 1-0 pitch gets the corner for a called strike, and it's 1-1. It will be Erickson, Chrisman, and Winward, 2, 3, and 4 in this Maple Mountain lineup as Erickson takes that one away, and it's 2-1. Not an easy lineup to work to navigate through if you're Tilden Scott, the freshman lefty.
Yeah, did a nice job there in the last inning, coming in relief of Caden Lamson, able to put up a nice 0 on the scoreboard, only allowing the 1 hit. But yeah, this is a very tough portion of the lineup. Erickson a gamer, you know, doing a nice job of working the count here, and then you've got the big boppers, Chrisman and Winward, coming up.
3-1 pitch gets in there for a strike, and the count runs full to Erickson. Tilden Scott gets the baseball, Andrew, and he gets back on the bump. He's ready to go again for the 3-2 pitch, as Erickson fouls this one off, and we'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Erickson.
Yeah, Erickson doing what he's been doing all game long, just really lengthening out these at-bats, has been very patient, has done a good job of mostly just swinging at pitches that make sense. Did end up striking out in his first at-bat on one that he looked at, but really otherwise just solid at-bats for him today.
Pops this one up into shallow center field, and getting there to make the catch is Morley, and there's 1 gone in the 7th. And that will bring up Cy Chrisman. Chrisman's been walked, grounded out, and struck out. And he'll stand in wearing number 12 from the right side.
Yeah, a bit of a quiet game here for Chrisman. Was not so quiet in in Tuesday's game. Had an absolute just blast out to left field, a 2-run shot in Tuesday's game.
Pitch on its way, and Chrisman sends this one foul down the left field line.
Yeah, roped it there, but a little bit early on it.
Maple Mountain next week gets Wasatch. Gets Orem. Spanish Fork gets Wasatch. I was like, once I said that, I'm like, I don't think that's right.
Wait a second. Yes. So the Tigers will have to tango with the Golden Eagles, and then it'll be,
Dons and Wasps.
It'll be the Wasps and the Dons, which will be both of those are really great series, honestly.
The 1-1 pitch misses away, and the count moves 2-1 here on Cy Chrisman. In the bottom of the 7th for the Dons, they'll have Jason Pintar, Pratt Morley, and Boston Duvall coming up. Pitch comes in. That one gets in there for a called strike, and the count evens up here. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Chrisman.
Yeah, again, as I was saying at the kind of beginning of the broadcast, Chrisman having just an excellent season so far. 371, according to Max Preck, 7 home runs, which is second in all of Utah with those 25 RBIs.
He swings and lines this one deep to center field. Still going back. Nixon Warren will run it down for out number 2.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, that's the deepest part of the ballpark, and I don't even think he got that great of a swing on it, and he just about took that thing out.
2 outs, and Mick Winward will be the hitter. Tilden Scott trying to send Maple Mountain down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 7th inning.
That's going to be a hard task because Winward's been solid here today. 2 for 3 on the day. Struck out in his first at bat, but then he's got 2 singles here in the last innings, the fourth and the fifth. So, I mean, he's swinging as good of a bat as anybody here today for Maple Mountain.
First pitch, fastball misses high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes on Mick Winward. Winward, a pair of singles, came around to score a run, an RBI single back in the 5th. Pitch, and Winward fouls this one back. And it'll be 1 ball and 1 strike here on Winward. Top of the 7th inning, just past 5 o'clock here in Spanish Fork. Sun is out. It's warm, and we're ready for baseball. That one pulled foul. It'll be 1-2 the count on Winward.
Yeah, nice relief appearance here so far for Tilden Scott. Has only allowed just the 1 hit, and really has done a nice job. Again, I don't feel like he's got crazy dominating stuff here, but has just done good of making sure that he knows where to go with his pitches.
The 1-2 missing away, and the count evens up. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Winward.
He has had to work fairly deep into his counts, though. That would be the one thing, is he is throwing a fair amount of balls, kind of trying to find and pinpoint his location a little too much at times.
Winward sends that one into right field, a base knock, and a 2-out single will put Winward on for the 3rd time in the ballgame.
Yeah, Winward really is seeing the ball well here today. And part of it for me that shows me that he's maturing is you're seeing him take these outside pitches, and instead of trying to mash it, out to the left and try to pull it, he's just saying, you know what, it's out there and I'm just going to poke at it, and he's sprayed a couple out there into right field. That is the mark of a solid hitter, someone that tells me that he's just not getting crazy, not going outside of himself, but just making sure that he can do what he can to move things along here for his team.
Pinch hitter Reese Johnson will hit in the spot for Nash Ferguson. Takes a first pitch, strike 1. Johnson, a 5'11 senior, listed as an infielder and a pitcher. Throw over and back is Winward. 4-0 lead for Maple Mountain here in the top of the 7th inning. Pitch on its way, fastball outside, and the count moves to 1-1.
Yeah, I like an opportunity to give some of your bench players an opportunity to come in and make an impact in a game, and so it's nice to see them go ahead and pinch hit here, let Johnson get some swings.
And Johnson there swings through it. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Reese. Dons will have one more chance in the home half of the 7th inning. No action in the Maple Mountain bullpen, so I'm pretty sure their plan is to roll with Jeremiah Hall.
And I mean, why not? He's been so great for you, so might as well give the freshman an opportunity to potentially close this game out and come away with a complete game shutout.
Don't know. We don't have the access to stuff like pitch counts in that, Andrew, but I mean, you have to think he's probably in the 70s somewhere, not too much more than that. I would get, and that's an absolute guess on my part. I could be completely wrong. As that one rolls to the backstop, and Windward will move up 90 feet.
It looks like that pitch just kind of got away from Scott there, and then underneath the glove of Cloward, and so yeah, it moves the runner into scoring position here with 2 outs, and so Johnson with an opportunity to extend the Golden Eagles lead here with a potential base hit.
Johnson at the plate. Scott on the mound, checks Windward at second. The pitch is hit into or to the shortstop. Bobbling it is Pintar. A long throw across the diamond. Not going to be in time. And Maple Mountain has runners on the corners with 2 down. And that will bring up Chase Johnston.
Yeah, Pintar got gobbled up on that particular play. His previous error in this game, he fielded it cleanly, but then on the transfer kind of lost it. This time, tried to get a good read on the hop. I think it got a little bit weird on him, and so on the receiving portion of that, kind of missed his glove and ends up dropping it. Made it, an effort there to get it across. Nice play over at first by Dart to make sure that it didn't potentially cost them a run.
Lefty versus lefty matchup here with Johnston stepping to the plate. He singled in the second, walked in the fourth, grounded out in the fifth. Runners on the corners. Scott from the stretch comes home. First pitch, a breaking ball, low and away, and his count moves to 1-0.
And this sometimes is rough for lefties. I know that you technically have the platoon advantage here with a lefty at the plate, but if you've only been thrown to righties, it is a different look for you. And so even though you technically can have an advantage, it is kind of a weird thought sometimes just because it's a different vantage point. Does a nice job there pumping that one in low and outside, though, for a strike.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runners on the corners. Johnston ready to come home with ready to receive the 1-1 pitch as he swings and pops this one up. Down the left field line, in fair territory, playable, and I believe is caught by Lamson, and the inning is over. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, the last chance for the Dons. It will be Jason Pintar, Pratt Morley, and Boston Duvall coming up, most likely against Jeremiah Hall.
Yeah, nice job there by Tilton Scott, able to get out of that mostly unscathed. Again, did have the error there by Pintar, and Windward got his way over to second base, but closes the door there, puts up another 0, and gives the Dons an opportunity here in the bottom half of the inning, which, speaking of the bottom half of the inning, gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors here at Spanish Fork 17. That's the attorneys at the Utah Legal Team, Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Mike and Tyler Mendenhall, 2 Jacks Pizza, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Lance Wilson State Farm, and Spanish Fork Community Network. Yeah, we appreciate everyone for tuning in today, whether on the channel or on our YouTube page, youtube.com/SpanishFork17. We hope that you've clicked that subscribe button and joined the Spanish Fork 17 family, whether it be you love your high school sports, you love staying connected to community, whether it is, either of those things, just go check out that content. youtube.com/SpanishFork17. And again, we are excited to get you more baseball here next week. Our game will be on Thursday. It will be the Golden Eagles up against the Orem Tigers. That game again on Thursday, April 17th at 3:30 p.m. here on Spanish Fork 17.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th. Ryan Pickens and Andrew LaRose with you. And we're going to have a change for Spanish Fork. It was scheduled to be Jason Pintar who will hit. Tyler Orton, number 1, will hit for him, for Pintar. So Orton, listed as a junior, will stand in. Pratt Morley was scheduled to hit, but in the on-deck circle is Cash Andrus, number 17. First pitch misses low and away for ball 1. So the Dons may be trying to change things up a little bit to try to jumpstart some offense here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Honestly, I don't mind the thought. Again, these guys have struggled here so far.
against Jeremiah Hall. So might as well give some other guys a look and see if they can't, see it out of his hand a little bit better, time him up a little bit better, and give yourself a shot here to come away with the win. Again, if you could find a way to score enough runs here to keep this ball game alive or even potentially win it, this is a huge potential win here for Spanish Fork. So yeah, do anything you can to still find a way to win this game.
That pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-2. One other change, Nash Ferguson has re-entered for Maple Mountain in left field. So that's one rule. If you're new to high school baseball, you can re-enter once. And the 1-2 pitch is going to be hit to left center and ran down by the left fielder on the play. That's Ferguson, and there's one away.
Yeah, pretty easy read out there in left field, able to just track that down and make the first out of the inning.
So Cash Andrus will hit for Pratt Morley.
Johnson.
And no, it's not going.
That is Matai Johnson.
It is Matai Johnson who's going to hit. And the first pitch to Matai Johnson is in there for a strike. We talked about how in a groove today that Jeremiah Hall has been. Well, he's settled in nicely. 2 hits so far given up. There's a ground ball to third. Chrisman with it across the diamond in time, and Spanish Forks down to their final out.
A good read there by Chrisman, and then excellent throw over to first base. And yeah, I mean, I still like the approach here by Spanish Fork to have used these pinch hitters just to see what could happen and see if you could maybe get a guy off the bench to be the spark plug here for you. Unfortunately, doesn't cash out for them, but you do have your cleanup hitter coming up here.
Here's Boston Duvall. And Duvall looks at a first pitch strike. Duvall 0 for 2, lined into a double play and grounded to short.
Yeah, unfortunate for Duvall. He hit one on the screws in his last at-bat, but just right at Chrisman.
Pitch there, misses outside. The count evens up at 1-1 here on Duvall. Jeremiah Hall ready to go. Winds and delivers. And there's a chopper over the head of Chrisman. Going to be a tough play. In fact, it's going to be a base hit for Duvall. And the Dons have their third hit of the ball game against Hall.
Yeah, that's a smart play by Hayden Hyatt. I know that the juices are flowing and you want to see if you can try to gun him out over there at first base, but that was going to be such a hard throw. Again, momentum going away from him, you would have had to probably make a jump throw to even try to make that work, and it's just so much smarter to go ahead and just gobble that up, get your feet set, and just live to, have another at bat, because yeah, that throw was going to be ridiculous.
Jackie Sorensen stands in. First pitch in there at the knees for strike one. Sorensen's played left field today. 0 for 2, a ground out and a strikeout. I haven't really realized it too much until looking at the scorebook, but Hayden Hyatt at shortstop for Maple Mountains had himself a busy day today.
He has. He's gotten lots of outs over there. A couple routine ones. A couple of them, though, have been of the more crazy variety. But, yeah, it's been very busy. Again, a lot of the hitters today have just been hitting everything up the middle. And if you're at shorts, that means a lot of those balls are coming at you. And he's done a nice job here today.
Ready to go here to Sorensen. Time called. Sorensen will step out. Bottom of the 7th inning, Dons down to their final out. 4-0 lead for Maple Mountain. Golden Eagles looking to try to get to 12-1. That one swung on and missed, and the Dons are down to their final strike.
He hasn't used that pitch a ton in this ball game, but I like that he was able to do that. And that to me shows some confidence there. When you can hum in your fastball kind of up around the letters, around the eyeballs of the batter, and can challenge them like that, along with what he's been doing on the outside part of the plate, that is a really good way to get yourself more strikeouts. That's kind of, I think, the next step of the evolution here for Jeremiah Hall.
That one swung on and missed, strike 3. And Maple Mountain will sweep the regular season series with the Dons with a pair of shutouts. will go ahead. Maple Mountain wins 4-0. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. We'll have our MVP Sports MVP of the game. You're watching high school baseball on Spanish Fork 17.
MVP Sports knows how you roll. You name the sport and we've got you covered. MVP Sports has all the gear you need to perform at your best. Come see our new location just off 900 North Main Street. You are the MVP at MVP Sports.
Hi, I'm Mike McKell.
I'm Shani Hunter, and we're attorneys at Utah Legal Team.
Utah Legal Team was voted one of the state's top personal injury law firms.
We deliver bigger payouts and faster results.
If you've been injured in a car accident, we can help. Call us for a free consultation.
Dad, we got this.
We got this.
Come check out town, okay?
We got this. We got this.
Life is for living.
We got this.
Let's partner for all of it. Edward Jones.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
You know who you are. You embrace the sounds of that dial-up modem, the door to the internet. But that was so slow. And you were all in with the cable modem and its zippy megabit speeds. But then the buffering started. Now, fiber is here. SFCN fiber is in your neighborhood, just steps away from your door. It's not the future, it's the now. No upgrade fees, no increase in your rates. So do it for the children, do it for yourselves. End the buffering, embrace the fiber.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Lance Wilson for your personal price plan today.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
A 4-0 final from Nelson Field. Maple Mountain on top of Spanish Fork. Ryan Pickens alongside Andrew LaRose. You see the snow-packed mountains there in the background. It's that nice time of year where there's snow up in the mountains still. We get to be able to see it, but it's not on our roads, Andrew. And I mean, today, a great performance from Maple Mountain. The Golden Eagles maybe had a little bit of a slow offensive day. And really, it came down to that big 3-run inning in the fifth that really kind of opened this ball game up.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it really was, a solid day on the mound for Caden Lamson, who ended up going 5 innings and ended up, being the one that coughed up all the runs in general. But, he had a solid game and did a good job against his Golden Eagle offense, and yet somehow Maple Mountain still finds a way to score 4 runs, which that just gives you an idea of how dangerous this Maple Mountain team is. I mean, even on an off day when the bats just aren't working for them, they still find a way to squeak across runs. And so, I mean, it was kind of that weird kind of game for Maple Mountain where you can look back on it and be like, well, we can sometimes play our maybe B, C level on offense, but as long as we've got great pitching, they'll find ways to win games here. And this was kind of one of those where you can be like, oh, okay, we've really got something going on here with this pitching staff.
And that's definitely one of those things. If you're Spanish Fork, I mean, it may have sounded like at times that we were kind of critical of Spanish Fork in some ways, Andrew, and that really wasn't the case. Unfortunately, Spanish Fork ran into that Maple Mountain pitching staff and today's MVP Sports MVP of the game.
Yeah, which was Jeremiah Hall. Oh my goodness. I mean, to have the start that he had after Chase Johnston's start on Tuesday, where Johnston just absolutely locked it down, 1-hit shutout, 10 strikeouts. Hall, the freshman, then follows it up with a shutout of his own, 7 strikeouts and only allowing 3 hits. And so he basically was like, hey, Chase, I can do that too. And man, if both of them can be pitching like this throughout the rest of region play, oh my goodness, they just become very dangerous. I think that there's a high chance that they end up with potentially, I mean, I don't want to get too crazy here, but they could end up easily with the #1 seed going into state here if they can get this kind of pitching performance from both of their guys. And then if they can then rediscover the bats here in their series against Orem, oh man, look out, boys. This is a team that very likely could end up being repeat champions.
and it's going to be interesting to see. Maple Mountain with the win today, improving to 12-1 on the season. Spanish Fork falling to 2-10. But I wouldn't hit the panic button yet if I'm Spanish Fork. You still have plenty of time left in region, and arguably you may have just faced the best pitching staff in the region.
Oh, I don't even know if it's arguably at this point. I feel pretty confident that Chase Johnston, at the very least, is probably the best pitcher in the region, and is certainly among the top 5 in all of Utah. And then you follow that up with the phenomenal freshman here today, Jeremiah Hall. Oh my goodness! I mean, there is a lot of potential here for Maple Mountain. But again, let's focus here on Spanish Fork here for just 2 seconds. I think that they have just been a bit of a victim of their schedule. I mean, they had the hardest non-region schedule of anybody. Again, highlighted earlier today with their RPI. And then to start off region play against this, I mean, that's going to be a tall task for anyone. So they're still in good shape. They even kept themselves in a lot of these ball games. They're not that far off. And so if they can get rolling here in their series against Wasatch and just kind of get some confidence back, I think that they've got a really good shot of making things competitive here in region play, and that is going to pay dividends and hopefully help them to get a better seed come state.
It gets difficult sometimes when you go on a losing streak or you have a loss that rolls into another. Sometimes it can kind of start snowballing out of control. But for Spanish Fork, plenty of time left to kind of get things going back in the right direction. We've had a fun one today. Maple Mountain defeating Spanish Fork 4-0. Our next broadcast will come up next Thursday afternoon, a 3:30 first pitch. The Orem Tigers and the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles. For my partner Andrew LaRose, our entire SFCN 17 sports team, I'm Ryan Pickens saying so long from Nelson Field, where Maple Mountain tops Spanish Fork 4-0.